Hi everybody. Okay, this video is for people who want to learn lesson 4 in the book. Okay, this is for if you've completed lesson 3 in your book and you're good at half notes for 2 beats and also quarter notes for 1 beat and half rests for 2 beats of rest and the quarter rest for 1 beat of rest. And if you can play all of lesson 3 with the half notes and quarter notes on the D and the A for any of the instruments, violin, viola, cello, or bass, and you want to try to go on to lesson 4, you can do that pretty easily because it's all the same in terms of quarter notes, half notes, Ds, and As. There's 2 other new things on it, but they're not new notes or rhythms. So if you just look at all the lines, you can play everything that you see because they're all Ds and As and half notes and quarter notes and half rests and quarter rests, okay? So this lesson, I'm just going to explain the 2 little things you should know about lesson 4, and that will complete lesson 4 if you can play all that, and then you're ready for lesson 5, which is a new note. So I'm going to show you on the different books. This is the violin book. So if you play the viola or cello or bass and this doesn't look correct to you, it won't, but I'll show you in a second, okay? So there's a couple of new things on this page, and remember, all the answers are in the book. So the top thing is meter signature, which I usually call time signature. And if you see in my book, I circled it. But right next to where it says meter signature in the box, it says time signature, okay? The time signature are the 2 numbers piled up on top of each other that go right next to your clef. So if you look on lesson 4 all the way down, now you have the 2 numbers piled up. And it doesn't matter what your clef is. Viola book has the same and cello and bass book have the same. It's the 2 numbers and they're always going to be there now. And if you notice, it's 2 4s right now piled on top of each other. They might change, but for now it's 2 4s. Each one means something, and the answers, again, right at the top. The top 4, the top number will tell you, in this case 4, that there's 4 beats in each measure, which you kind of already have been doing, you just didn't realize. We've been counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We've been counting that all along. So now it's official. That top 4 just tells you that there's 4 beats in every measure. And as if that's not easy enough, the bottom 4 means, read along with me, a quarter note or rest receives 1 beat. But you already knew that. You already knew the quarter note each gets 1 beat. The half note gets 2 beats, but they still just count the beats. So 4 beats in a measure, quarter note gets 1 beat, 4 over 4. And if you look, it's the same all the way down. So that part's super easy, okay? Then the only other new thing, and I'll play the whole page, you can play along in a minute. The only other new thing is, and I'll switch to a different book, just to be fair to cellos and basses. Here's the bass clef with all the time signatures. You also have the new whole rest, which, if you look at it, if you're a little tiny stick person walking along the line of the staff, looks like a hole in the ground that you would fall in. Remember, the half rest looks like a hat. Where is it? There it is. And the whole rest is upside down, looks like a hole in the ground, okay? And the whole rest rests for a whole measure, which, as you just learned up here, is 4 beats. So the quarter rest, the squiggly one, 1 beat of rest. The half rest, 2 beats of rest, and the whole rest, easiest one of all, 4 beats of nothing. So that's all that's going on down here is you're resting for 4 beats, which is the easiest thing ever, okay? So now that's enough to know to play all the songs in on this page. Everything else is stuff you know. So I'm gonna go through, say them, and play them for you. If you want to, you can stop and start the video to listen along and say it with me. And you can also play along with me. And even if you don't play the violin, I'm going to play it on violin because it's easiest for me to show you on the screen. But you can just play it along on the cello or whatever you want, right? So it doesn't matter. Okay, so if you look at your first note in your own book, those are A's, right? So number 1 goes A, 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 D, 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 D. All A's and D's. Piece of cake. Here goes nothing. Here goes number 1. Okay. Make sure your bow hold is correct, please. Make sure your instrument position is correct, please. Remember, it starts on your A string, so whatever your A is for violins, it's here, okay? Here's number 1. 1, 2, ready, go. A, A, okay, there you go, number 1. If you look at number 2, they just make it a little more complicated because, you know, they want you to get better. All right, so here we go. Here's your notes. It starts on D, right? Oh, here, I'll do it on viola. So if you have your viola book, you can look. Wait, hold on. There it is. Okay. All right, so D's and A's again. This is the viola book, but your book will have your own clef in it. So it starts off on D, right? So here we go. D, 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 rest, A, D, 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 rest, right? And you want to be careful now. You got to start to make sure you really look at your music while you're playing, because if you notice, it's not always the same repeating thing, and you got to pay attention to what you're playing. All right, let's play number 2. Ready? Instrument up. Bow hole's looking good. Do not cheat on this. Okay, here we go. Number 2. I'm on D. 1, 2, ready, go. D, 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 rest. A, D, rest. Ta-da! No problem. Okay, so that's that one. Now they're about to get super easy, because now you're at the whole rest, where you're going to rest for a very long time, right? And it's only, well, you got one little half note. Ready? Let's say this one. D, D, A, rest, 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 rest. A, D, D, rest, 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 rest. D, D, A, D, rest, rest. Don't get fooled. They're trying to mess with you now. Don't fall for it. All right. And then also the other thing is, if you notice when there's a whole rest, there's nothing else in the measure. So if you're not sure if it's a whole or a half, if you see nothing else in the measure, you know that's all 4 beats of a rest. So that will help you. Okay. Here comes number 3. Let's play it together. Get yourself ready. Make sure your bow hole's looking good. You may notice I show you this every single time. Never do your bow hold wrong. Okay. Here we go, number 3. We're going back and forth. 1, 2, ready, go. D, D, A, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there you go. All right, then number 4. Same idea. Now they're just making it fancy with the back and forth. Look, it goes back and forth. All right, ready? Here we go. We're going to say number 4 just to make sure you know your notes. D, A, D, A, rest, 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 rest. A, D, A, D, rest, 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 rest. D, A, D, A, D, rest, rest. Don't be fooled. Don't be tricked. Here I go. Number 4. 1, 2, ready, go. Keep your eyes on the music. Okay, there you go. Number 4. If you're playing them with me and you're staying with me, you know you got it. All right, song of the week, one of my favorites. You can even ask older kids when they've done this. Okay, look at that. Super easy. Ready? Here we go. Cuckoo bird. D-A-D, rest. D-A-D, rest. D-D-A-A-D-A-D, rest. And my favorite bonus. See down here where it says bonus? Play Cuckoo Bird with your eyes closed. I'm going to do it with the bonus now because it's fancy. 2 things you can't look at when you're doing this, which is why it's the bonus. If you have your eyes closed, you have to have the song memorized, which I hopefully do. And the other thing you can't look at is your instrument. So what you have to do is get yourself all set up and then go by feel, right? So here we go. Here's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I got myself set. I know it starts on D, so my bow is on D, and I get ready and I look and I check and I go, okay, great. My bow hole's great because I'm awesome. And then I'm going to close my eyes. Here we go. I'm going to play Cuckoo Bird with my eyes closed. Rest. All right, go me. Okay, and go you too, because once you get started on it, it should be easy. All right, so this is lesson 4. If you want to do lesson 3 like we did in class and then try lesson 4 on your own, and you can learn this on your own, and you can come in and play Cuckoo Bird with your eyes closed, I know you've got it, and you are ready for lesson 5, and we don't even have to spend an extra week on this, okay? So let me know if you have any questions. Good luck.